Yeah, I should be called out.
True that.
But
Why
if I'm
is-
like, top 10 reasons why Bly is amazing in ZVP, then I have a list in this game as I cast. It's clickbaity, but it's accurate.
Why is there no 16-year-old Protoss that brings back glory to Io once we got Clem and Raynor and stuff?
They're not 16.
Yeah, they're not 16 anymore, Lametta, but Goblin, dude, Goblin has been slaying. There's a few other young weirdos. Max Pax is like 13, isn't he, or something?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Reyna and Clem are 18 now, and I believe Goblin is also 18, if not pushing 19 at the moment.
Yeah. Very, very young. All right, well, down here in the bottom right, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is ptitdrogo.
Oui, oui. And the top left, representing Ukraine and Raise Your Edge Gaming. It's Bly on Fire. And also Zerg, I suppose.
I suppose. So, this is an interesting drone being sent out by Bly. It changes. It doesn't want to get spotted by the probe. I have no idea what this is, because that's not going to get there. And is it going to get there just before the Nexus? Is this a perfectly timed hatch block? So he's going to do an Evo block. It's going to be hatched into Evo block, and he's either timed it out perfectly. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I thought that would get there like a few seconds later. I was like, that drone's too late. We've seen that happen in GSL matches before, where it gets there and the Nexus has just started, and you're like, did you not practice this? But this is a good one from Bly. He's going pool, doesn't have his gas down yet. Obviously can't get the hatch Evo block down with 2 probes there. You can't get enough space. So just goes for a slight delay, bit of a disruption. Drogo Nexus core. He did already start probe production while being blocked to make use of that time. And very curious to see where this one goes from here. I feel like in the last 2 weeks we have seen more Ravager Queen all-ins in this matchup than we ever have before. It's on my mind. It's in the forefront of my mind, and that is a hatch on the 3rd, Maynard.
It is indeed.
What
is it? Indeed. Bly is...
It's for Ravagers, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a Roach rally.
So he's going to build Roaches and Ravagers from there and just flood Speedlings across to join up with it, and he's just hoping Drogo doesn't scout it. Which, why would you scout that? Do you start wondering at this point?
That's why this works.
Do you start wondering with your probe? Why haven't we seen that drone return home yet, though? Does that question arise? I don't think so. Oh, this is a big brain. Big brain Bly coming out once again. The Adept is going to try to cut off the scouting information, I believe. It's looking for some Zerglings. Doesn't find any of them. Both pairs going across for the distraction. Stalker's coming out. Stargate behind this. Roach Warren is on the way. Ling Speed is on the way. And Drogo's Adept may get wind of this.
I think if you don't see a 3rd right now, you're like, okay. Seeing the Roach Warren will be massive as well.
That's a lot of workers.
Away, though.
That's a lot of workers, though. You go, oh, that's a lot of workers. That looks like a normal economy. You know why? Bly pulled them out of his main to his natural to mine from there. So this looks all normal. Bly has tricked Drogo. He's distracted him. And he goes, oh, no, you're killing my 4 Zerglings. Ah, I didn't get the Stalker. What a shame. Drogo's going, cool, everything's going fine. Everything's going all right. He has no idea. He hasn't even spotted the lack of a 3rd yet. Now he comes in, he goes, cool, cool, cool. What's happening? Oh, shit, there's no 3rd. Shield battery goes down. 2nd gateway. Drogo has no idea what's happening, but he is in trouble. He's building oracles. Queens are building from this expansion, though, and he might even be able to build like a Spork ruler there. A Roach comes forward and starts 1v1ing this Stalker, man.
And that's a fight that the Roach would like to have. The Oracle comes back. The Adept as well. And the weird thing about this is the Zerg can switch from Roach gear into Ling mode. And if the Adept count is not high enough, the Lings can actually do the damage here as the Adepts just try and break open the wall.
Yeah, I mean, with that Adept being gone, the Oracle does kill a Ravager, but it's out of energy. Its buddy comes down. It's going to take out a lot of these Zerglings. That gateway getting very low there, Drogo. Keen to put down more pylons. I'd actually like to see another gateway behind the existing gateway. Oracle says lasers. Lasers for you, Queen. The Queen goes down. The Oracles are out of energy. It is not a full wall right now. And that Stalker's very exposed. Probes being pulled into the fight.
Probes being pulled in the fire with the Lings hitting us around, though, so a lot of those probes are dying very quickly. Shield batteries are going to finish up and juice up a few of these gateway units. Is it enough firepower from Drogo to hold on? As 2 shield batteries, 3 shield batteries, 4 shield batteries holding on to this Protoss army. Another Oracle streams on in. This is getting dicey.
Yeah, the Oracle there. If he just rewalls the front, he should be able to clean this up in the main. Zealots warping in. The Oracle adding damage here. A fantastic hold so far from Drogo. The moment he spotted that third base, reacted so quickly. And Mauling's coming in, but not much of a reinforce with this. So I wonder what you do from Bly, or do you make another round of Ravages? No, it's drones. Drones have to come in. The Lings are still going to run circles around the main, but the Oracle's lasers still turned on. Handles it.
Yeah, those laser beams. They're a problem for Bly. And I mean, the other problem is once the attack has been held, which is very committed from Bly, now the Oracles are free to go across the map. I mean, they don't have a ton of energy, but there's something that Bly has to worry about now. There's 4 Oracles on the map. And I'm a Zerg that has like 1 queen per hatchery.
Yeah, those are the spores are starting. That's so scary, man. The drones
on the north side of the map, man.
Oh my god.
These 3 drones.
Refugee hunters. It's a really messed up reality show.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like, we just want to find somewhere we can mine minerals and have a home next to a hatchery.
2 queens. With a third one coming down in that spore crawler is enough firepower to actually force back these Oracles for now. Bly, I mean, wild begets wild. If we're going to go for this proxy hatchery Ravager bust, let's drop a lair with the 2 hatcheries that do remain as the third gets lower and lower. What does Bly do with this lair, though?
The drones make it home. Good to see. Gets those 3 workers back. They have definitely not paid for themselves yet, but they'll get a chance to. Zealots, Adept, Sentries coming forward here. Robo on the way for Drogo, who is still just at 2-gate production with a Roddy wall on his natural now after the early bust. Definitely not your traditional wall-off, but with 3 shield batteries, very solid.
Yeah, it's actually like 4. It's a lot of energy on these shield batteries. Is there such a thing as too many shield batteries when it's literally keeping you alive against a guy like Bly? I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to see a point where there's like Zerglings fighting a single Archon, and it's going to kill 86 Zerglings. Like,
did you see that bug from the Hellraiser clips from when that...
multiple shield batteries could heal on the test map, right? So you could have like 5, 10 shield batteries on one Archon?
Yep. One Archon was just like tanking 12 BCs. All the shield batteries are keeping it up. The Oracle micro here from Drogo pretty solid, getting through that queen count there of Bly. He's down to 1 now, and some drones for good measure, and every Oracle survives. Great move there from Drogo as he drops his 3rd Nexus. Protoss is looking solid at the moment.
Solid as a rock. Meanwhile, Bly, I mean, 43 drones, Roach's Roach speed, cool. If you have a 3rd hatchery finished and a 3rd queen injecting on it already, you'd be a bit more comfortable. But there's a 3rd hatch starting, and the Oracles are like, really? Lol? That's the actual sound the laser gun makes when they turn it onto a building hatch. It does not care.
It's really low frequency, but it's low. Like that. It is still LOL. You're right.
It's a little bit like a real life error noise, you know? Like lol.
Lol. Hatchery.exe has crashed.
One of those sounds that when your computer makes it, you feel very uncomfortable. You're like, oh. Feels like, you know, kind of like your hard drive's catching or something. You're like, ugh. This is a little bit awkward. We've got Phoenix's building. So this is my opponent's doing weird shit and is way behind. I need to make sure I don't get surprised by something crazy like a proxy Spire muta swap. So he's scouting everywhere, desperately trying to find out. But the thing is, Drogo, okay, he does see the infestation pit. Up to that point, there was just nothing to scout. Because it's like, no, he's just so far behind, he doesn't have stuff. Like, it's a weird situation you find yourself, you're like, what could I lose to? I'm trying to prepare for everything as Drogo here, and look at, what is this wall-off at Drogo's 3rd base, Maynard? What am I looking at? Okay, well, Oracles are going to come in.
I've actually seen something similar earlier. I wonder if it was Drogo or not.
Well, that's like...
Drogo's the only Protoss I've cast today, so it would have been Drogo.
That's a laser. This is like a laser overlords, but pylons. He's already at 100 out of 150 supply. You just build 6 more pylons? There's some bizarre shit right there from Drogo. Very weird.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Drogo saw the infestation pit. He knows what's happening right now. He's fanning out his units to look for that Nidus worm. Look at that. Look at that spread of gateway units everywhere. You're going to drop a Nidus, Drogo's going to know.
Except in the main base, where he has no vision in the corner of his main.
Yeah, that is true. Oh no, please.
If he gets Nidus Swarmost in the main, this is going to be hilarious. Like, guys, look at this. Phoenix, Adept, Zealots patrolling. It goes right there.
Oh my god! If you've seen Drogo's peripherals levitate, you're about to see them get shot to the moon, man.
Oh my god! I'm gonna go Drogo cam.
No.
I'm gonna through Drogo's first-person view see him smash his table right now. Where could it be?
Where's the nice swim?
Where could it?
On the map right now.
Yeah, he's looking at his Oracle, his Warp Prism. He's moving the Zealots around, and now he looks at the main. Oh my god! He's like, "Are you serious? What?"
Well, in come the Locusts, and that main Nexus is toast. Right-click on that, that is dead. Now, can Bly hold the counterattack, though? Like, while this is cool and a lot of damage, there is a big Protoss attack kicking in. He's got a lot of roaches, actually, in the main base.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, right now, a lot of roaches are building up there, but Drogo loses a base, he can rebuild that. As long as he gets rid of the third and the natural and just doesn't go up that ramp. He's got force fields. Oh my god, the Nidus Worm's exposed as well.
Oh god. If he gets the butthole of the Nidus Worm, the head's about to go down.
Wait. Another head went up somewhere. In the main base. In the main. He put an emergency one up. Bly knew that was a threat. Sorry for the observing, guys. There is one hidden under the Overlord. So, mass Swarmost Roach on one base. And remember, he can't create new heads. So, he's building another butthole in the main as well as that head that he used to evac. Roaches and Swarmost come down. Gets an Archon. Oh, he's actually catching Drogo with his pants down a little bit. A lot of locusts.
Drogo might want to recall here. He's forcing out the locusts and he's moving back, but of course the roaches will pounce on this army as soon as the recall kicks in. So he's just trying to pick off as much as he can. The Archon's exposed here. Lift up into the prism to save whatever he can. There's not enough room there. Force field. Great move there from Drogo to give him some time to save these expensive units.
All right. I mean, Drogo's still got oracles. He's still got a good economy. His main base is almost finished rebuilding. It's a 32 drone Zerg, but he does have a Nidus Worm and 12 Swarmosts. So it's all about Bly continuing to do damage, and every wave of locusts needs to do something significant. But look at this. Drogo's getting ready to backstab. He's spreading zealots around the map. A random sentry tries to 1v12 the roaches. Doesn't work out well for it. But I think his
sentry.
yeah,
I like it.
I'll force field you to kingdom come, and the roaches like and just burn it down with that acid. But zealot counterattacks are going to be huge. There's a prism getting ready for the main. The zealots getting ready for the natural. I really feel like it's going to be so hard to deal with even small numbers of zealot counterattacks.
Drogo sees the Nidus Worm here with his oracles. He's going for the prism in the main base. The oracle's going to go for the Nidus Worm head. And if they get rid of the head before the Swarm can escape, okay, that's actually fine for Drogo. These locusts aren't going to get a whole lot done there.
Yeah, just gets like an adept as zealot, damages an Archon, no big deal. The zealots in the main, on the other hand, start to go ham. And that is good damage. Forces even more locusts at home. Which is momentum. That's momentum. Wind taken out of Bly's sails. Yeah.
And while Drogo is like, you know, not looking great economically, Bly is on one base, literally. So he has to tap out. The numbers just aren't there for the Zerg anymore. Cool strategy from Bly, but Drogo just solid play. Little bit of a piece of that armor missing where Bly did get a critical blow, but Drogo just hitting back way too hard.
Yeah, he was already infinitely behind was Bly. I love the Ravager push on that base. Good reaction, though, by Drogo when he scouted no third. Just immediate shield batteries and... Excuse me. There's always a moment where you're like, I have one Stalker and an Oracle and there's Roaches and Lings rallying in. It's easy to lose the game from there. But Drogo hangs on. Next map is Zen. A map which I think is very good for Protoss in this matchup.
I agree. I know Bly plays very crazily. So he's like one of the, I think, 3 Zergs in the entire planet that want to play PvZ on Zen. But again, racially, like this map is just very good, I feel, for Terran or Protoss against Zerg.
Yeah, it's just even just the probe blocking the hatch at the start is so common, right? It's so fast to get adepts across the map. Pushes can materialize quite quickly and add some nice, nasty choke points, and that can be good. But in the past, we've seen a lot of Bly proxy hatching here. Loving that gas pool, or actually, sorry, pool gas proxy hatch. He likes to delay the gas slightly a lot of the time. Sometimes, actually, I think that's the Roach. He's got like 14 proxy hatch builds. So I'm like, actually, when he does that, it usually means that. When he does that, but sometimes he changes it to be okay, we're not going to try and read. We'll just see what he does. Down here in the bottom left, down one game, unfortunately, but ready to bring it back. He is Raise Your Edge Gaming's Bly.
And he is currently down in the series against this fine gentleman in the top right from France, the Protoss, from also Raise Your Edge Gaming, and his Drogo. Teammates facing off. But just like Highlander, there can be only one.
Drogo going to go for a slightly delayed gateway here, opting, of course, to return those 5 minerals, and I think he might not scout. What are we doing here? Are we scouting? Okay, he's gonna gate scout. Cool.
And there is a drone heading across the map for Bly.
Yeah, gas pool. The Overlord should see the probe coming, but he's already diverted around the right-hand side of the map. And yeah, it's that gas pool proxy hatch shenanigans coming in. So yeah, I think Drogo, was it Drogo we saw fight this with the Immortal? It was Mana who beat this last week with an Immortal, 2 Immortals and a Warp Prism, running around kind of just dealing with it. But Drogo, a different creature. We'll see how he fights this off.
I think Drogo knows what's happening. Oh, he is going Nexus, though. I would have thought Cybercore before Nexus if you smell something.
Yeah. I think he is going to check for it now, and he should see it. You can defend with the Nexus. You just kind of stay on about 23 workers. That's a Chrono Boost factory. You'll have like 2 workers mining on your natural. You don't really go above that. So the question is, do we see a second gate right now or a robo? Obviously, the second pylon to make sure you don't get supply blocked. Very important when you're chronoing zealots. Oh, he's going to fight it. So we're going to see shield batteries out front. The question is, off 1 gate? We're going shield batteries off 1 gate. So he's really going to gear up for the early battle. And you know what? Seeing this, the Roach Warren goes down. Bly, sometimes you'll see someone go for the spines out there, but Bly almost never does that because everyone comes out and fights it and they won't let his spines get up quickly. So he's been going for this Ravager version so often recently. Ling speed on the way. He does have a Queen injecting back home. Lings are going to try to run past. They're not there to fight the Zealots. They're there to run past and do damage elsewhere. Maybe even hit the shield battery.
Probe's going to block off these Lings.
Nicely done.
Meanwhile, the Zealot's just working away on that hatchery. Good hold so far from Drogo. I like where his head's at. He's got a forward shield battery as well. And Stalker counts are going to be here to deal with the Roaches, which he knows are coming up next. In fact, Bly is droning a bit here. Maybe not feeling the confidence.
There is a Nexus finish, though. Drogo is only at 19 probes, so he has cut so hard to get this second gate, these shield batteries up. And Bly is now going to build some Roaches out of here, so I think he wants to get some Biles to do some sort of follow-up pressure. But I would not be surprised to see an expansion going down at the natural here for Bly. His production is very weak right now.
Yeah. He is still making a Ravager here, which is 75 gas, but what do you intend to do with that 1 Ravager?
Here we go. Zergling's going to come in. The hatch is still alive for right now. Big Bile lands on the battery and the Stalker.
It spreads the damage there, so the Stalker actually survives with the hit points, and that hatchery does go down. Drogo moves back, and it seems like Drogo is going to be completely fine here. While his probe production has been halted, he can definitely go back to probing.
The natural's still missing here. Of course, a 1-base Ravager all in. Remember, 19 probes. It's such a small economy. Drogo's not even fully mining 1 mineral line. So he's shut down the build, but he had to react super hard to do that. Now he's starting up probes a second gas, but the follow-up all-in still has power. There is just not a lot of damage output. An Adept, 2 Zealots, 4 Stalkers. Right now, it's more than enough to deal with what Bly has. But in a minute, or anywhere away from the shield batteries, and I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Drogo shades an Adept forward, sees some Ravagers being morphed on the front line. He's like, all right, need some more Adepts here to handle the Ling part, because I know that the Ravagers are going to try and get some Biles, and they're connecting with all 3 of those shield batteries there, right in the middle of the pack.
Oh, that's very sexy. And this Overlord sees everything. This is the big advantage for Bly right now. The Overlord's just watching from that pervert pillar, seeing what goes on. The hatch is now starting behind this. Bly's still only building Zerglings and Ravagers. But he knows he does have a bit more of an economic follow-up than what he normally would because of those early drones. His main base is nicely saturated.
As Drogo, do you go for a Dark Shrine here? Twilight Count's going down.
Not a bad call. Not a bad call. No detection available. And Overlord rallies in for Bly. Almost gets the Adapt. He is wounding that gateway. The Lings here are looking to trap these units. Oh, man, it's just those shield batteries are such a big threat. If you fight in range of the batteries, things can go very badly for you as the Zerg. Oh, they're going for the main!
Natural Drogo!
No, Drogo! Oh, man, I actually...
distraction.
Oh, no, that's awful. He's going to recall up to the main. There's a Zealot warped in quickly. A few Stalker Zealots, Adepts come. The probe's taking some big damage.
And he's losing some probes here. Some whole position Lings there from Bly. The Zealot's getting in there and hacking and slashing through those Lings. He does lose a bunch of workers, but I think Drogo is still fine. He correctly recalled the right units that he needed and also sent the Stalkers down to the outside the natural to fight back the Ravagers and the Roaches.
There's only 3-gate production right now. I'd love to see Bly take out that gateway on the left-hand side, but the Stalkers and Adepts trying to guard it, trying to punish these Ravagers as they come in. And Bly still on 20 drones, still all in right now. And I feel like we may have hit a critical mass of gateway units. 5 Stalkers, 3 Adepts, 4 Zealots. There's no Zerglings on the map right now. There's 12 coming out, a few Ravagers, a few Roaches. Unless Biles can connect or you can really catch Drogo sleeping in one area and splitting up his units too much, it's going to be a bit awkward. Now, these Zealot Scouts are expensive for Drogo. He's put them out to make sure he's not surprised. He wants to actually go for a Zealot counter push right now. Charge about halfway done.
Drogo's moving out here, and keep in mind that he's already used recall, so he can't come home very easily. He has to walk back, so he does walk back from the middle of the map. Should be in time to be able to handle the Zerg army. He can win this fight, but he needs to evacuate those probes.
The Overlords saw the move out. So Bly, he's always had the information to take advantage. His Lings do rally in a bit sloppily on the left-hand side, but they do end up getting microed around, and you know what? These Stalkers having to walk through corrosive biles. The Ravagers holding the high ground. The Lings on the low ground with the wraparound. Oh man, the probes having to fight here. Drogo being forced to take an awkward engage. He has the numbers though. The probes actually fighting very well.
And the Ravager Cocoon was blocking the Stalkers from running into the natural as well. And the Bile connects there.
Oh my god.
Probes, but he connects with the Zealots. Bly's reinforcements here might just be enough.
Oh my god, charge kicks in as the fight ends. Every Zealot dies and charge kicks in. Hey guys, we got new shoes. Oh shit, where did my army go? I cannot believe Bly made this happen. Drogo just moving out for the counterattack, way too over-eager. And he gave Bly an opportunity right when time was running out of the hourglass. Bly just barely able to make this happen. This Bile is huge. And that probe count is gone. Bly, once again, just wriggles his way through an impossible situation.
And amazingly enough, Drogo is finding himself on the back end of a very aggressive Zerg. And he almost had it. Almost had it. And right now, Bly has got every advantage at the moment. He is just going to start tearing apart what remains here. Drogo on the low ground. He has an Immortal up in the main, but that is literally it. I mean, I guess 9 probes as well, but that's not really going to solidify a victory here for Drogo. Bly can do whatever he wants. He can drone up. He can make more units. He's going to just make more units here and just seal this deal.
Oh, Drogo tried to target fire the Ravager, and he shot the unbuildable plates with his Immortal there. Oh, so then he turned it, and then it took him a second to do it. The Ravager got the bile off, got the attack off.
GG. Man, that's that attack for Bly. There were so many attack paths, and I see why he likes Zen. I see why he likes it. You know, not only because of the, I mean, 9 times out of 10 he'll proxy hatch on this map. But just the defending the natural is so awkward, especially when you start having your attack paths opened up by biles.
It's like, it should not work, but you've got one Overlord hovering cross-legged with its 9 eyes, perving over everything. The entire game, that one Overlord saw everything Drogo did. And yeah, I mean, Bly finds a way to equalize there, which I'm very happy about. It's interesting to see these scenarios happen. I mean, I don't mind Charge there. I think Charge against someone who's just building Ravagers, Lings, low economy, it's perfect. He just moved out too early, and he lost track of where Bly's army was. So I wouldn't have minded, obviously, Drogo being a little bit more conservative there. It's awkward. You're like, man, he's been pressuring, pushing me around. I got to get out there and slow him down. He could build 20 drones. He's a Zerg player. But the fact of the matter was, you're at literally double the worker count with a bigger army supply. But he just got caught. His Zealots and Stalkers disjointed. His Zealots kind of attacked back through his natural wall and instantly got surrounded by Ravager Ling. His Stalkers ran up the ramp and got surrounded by Ling Ravager. Just literally the worst possible fight Drogo could have, and one of the few ways that he could lose that game.
And so it is written. All right, map number 3 is going to be the final game here between these 2 players. Nightshade, a bit more of a regular map.
Yeah.
Drogo and Bly going down on it. I think Drogo's mentioned that he doesn't really like this map very much. I think it was Drogo that said that.
A lot of people are very afraid of the Ravager Queen pushes because of that big, wide open area in front of the natural and third. So this is kind of the map that I always think of with that push, right? Because it's just such big, fat ramps. Force fields aren't as good. That being said, it's a great map for Glaive Adepts for the same reason, you know? So if there's a map where you don't just play super traditional Oracle, I feel like this is a very good map for it. At the same time, why don't we see people go Glaive Adepts against Bly? Well, he doesn't let them get there. And if they try to rush to Glaive Adepts, it is a vulnerable build order. Twilight is one of the weakest opening tech paths against an all-in. So people tend to just avoid it because they're afraid of what Bly can throw at them.
Well, this man was very afraid. Can he get it done in game number 3, though? It is the French Protoss, Raise Your Edge Gaming, ptitdrogo.
Definitely worked on his mindset and balance in life, which has led him to some really nice peaks in his skill level and returns to form from earlier years. Likewise, a player who I think never goes out of vogue, especially in online tournaments. Up here in the top left, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Bly.
Cool to see some teammates facing off in a Starcraft tournament that aren't just both from Team Liquid.
It's not very common, is it?
Yeah. Normally it's all about Team Liquid players killing each other to get to the top. But this particular game, it's actually Raise Your Edge players trying to get to the final, facing each other off. It is pool first for Bly. Not a super early pool, but before hatchery, at least.
Sorry, just reaching over to do some shout outs there in the chat. Thank you very much, guys.
All good.
Yeah, very curious to see where we go from here. You know, it's just a gas pool, or pool gas, I should say, into a hatch on the natural. It looks more normal. It almost makes me more uncomfortable if I'm in Drogo's shoes playing against Bly. And I'm like, why are you just taking your hatchery there? What's that for? This is weird.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be another one of those guys that repeats it, but you know that whole cheesiest thing a cheesy player can do. Play standard.
It adds so much flexibility to your play, you know? You can't just be going the proxy hatch every game, or it does... Your opponent can just focus on that one area, right? The moment you have oh, no, I can, like, do a really normal macro opening, defend Oracle, Adept Harass, you know, do a little Ling backstab, and then bam, there's Queens and Ravagers hitting you. It's like, you can still do all-ins, big aggressive attacks, very focused, decisive play. It's just, you know, it's a different way of getting there, where it looks much more like a normal game, and it's a different frame, a different period of the game where the attack happens, you know. So much of Bly's ZVP is focused on phase 1, that very early game, just killing his opponent. It's cool to see him kind of be a little more flexible so far in this game.
Ling's getting past that Zealot there. The Adept is out, though, so these Lings get a Scout, but aren't going to find too much more damage. 2 probes is still okay, though.
Does this Ling leave, or does he try to hide? It's going to hide. The other one in the main is like, okay, no tech yet. Fair enough, buddy. The one in the natural says, run. She says, frisbee.
Yeah. Catch the frisbee, puppy. And unfortunately, it did, and it died. Stargate follow-up here for Drogo is Bly makes a lot more Lings. I mean, he kind of has to because the Adepts are coming out now.
Well, it's a bait wall, right? Drogo's put down the bait wall. You know, he's like, come and get me. Come and get me, little Zerg player. Look at this. And you know what? He builds the Lings. He will get us around on this Adept, I believe. Ling speed kicks in. You know what? He's not going to get that. Ling speed's not done yet. The Adept can just cancel that Shade. Oh, he's going to finish it.
And the Adept gets into the main. Grabs 1 drone, but she goes down.
22 drones versus 28 probes. Eco advantage, of course, going to Drogo. Third hatch is on the way, though. But Drogo has no scouting now. And is that a full wall? That's a full wall. Yeah, he's scared.
Maybe to the south of the gateway? Okay, yeah, he's terrified of a Ling counterattack.
He didn't check the third base. He has no idea what the follow-up is, right? So he saw more Lings than there should be, and now he's full walling. And even though I think this is okay for Drogo, it's just something where he could get caught out in the next minute or two, because Bly is doing very normal things. And if Drogo gets a bit uncomfortable and a bit afraid, notice the Oracle's not even going across the map. Bly could maybe just get ahead on workers. He could maybe just jump to the next step and then be like, oh, you got to kill a gateway to get out of your base? Like, you know, he wants that gateway to finish. Look at this. He wants to cancel the gateway.
Yeah, he's going to cancel that gateway, so not the worst scenario here for Drogo. Obviously, he can take a third and that sort of thing soon, but he's just playing a little bit more careful, more than most Protosses would against Zerg at this point, just because he's playing the player, not the matchup. He's all too aware of what Bly is.
It's just something about what he is. I know what you are.
I know what you are. Hiding in that human skin with that big grin, your blue eyes. You think that you're just a regular person. I see you. I see you inside you.
Oh, I thought that queen was out in the open a bit too far, but you know what? She might actually be a bait there. Does go down, but the Oracle takes big damage for it. Gonna try and get the spore, but they will not get it in time.
Yeah. Queen's intercept. Bly's just making a lot of drones right now, just saturating those 3 bases. And Drogo finally kicking into the next phase, going for the Robo, getting extra couple gateways up. Look like maybe Drogo could potentially go for an attack here.
Yeah, going up to 4 gates. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Twilight Council. It's kind of surprising it's not down just yet. Is, of course, wanting to move out to the 3rd base. And a bit of gas starting to build up there for Drogo. He's going for a 4th Oracle. He wants to escalate the Oracle count. Now, that's really good for defending a traditional Ravager push. But you know what a laser realized? You can just go with like 7 queens. And it doesn't matter how many Oracles you build, you will not defend that. And I think seeing that many queens already, you've seen no drones on the 3rd. You've got to realize as Drogo, just mass gateways, mass units. Don't even start the 3rd Nexus necessarily.
Yeah, this is the big ol' attack, as you mentioned, Pig. What a laser tried to whip out against the multiple Oracle builds. He's just going for 8 queens here and a ton of roaches for a big ol' attack. Drogo was thinking about that 3rd Nexus. He may still start it, but he really wants to make sure that there is a lot of gateways ready if he needs to make all his units. He probably is going to have to cancel this Nexus.
It's really unfortunate that Bly's so weak on his scouting right now. He's even losing his Pervert Overlord, but he's assuming there's a 3rd Nexus right now. So Bly's going to be in for a rude surprise when he goes up this ramp and realizes there is just a crazy number of gateway units, stasis traps, Immortals pumping out. There is 8 gateways done right now, right? Yeah, 4 more warp gates finishing up. That's 8 gateways, lots of force fields. So don't get me wrong, it's still possible to break this on this map with Ravagers and Queens coming up both ramps. You can definitely get rid of the 3rd base, I feel. But Bly, that is a scary number of Protoss units. He's got to be careful.
And he gets a couple of roaches caught there, and they are definitely the heavy-hitting unit here for Bly. He's making 18 more lings. Super all in here on 43 drones. Just going to flood lings behind this. The Queens are here to deal with the Stargate units. Drogo still has a lot of gateway production. Oh, eats a big bile there in the middle of the pack. Triggers Hardened Shield and also kills a sentry, I believe.
Oh, he even puts a bile preemptively to get those units out of the stasis in case Force Field trapped them as the stasis ended. So Bly there does an action save there, a hot pickup. Oh my gosh, that Queen, she gets transfused. Good force fields, but a lot of them being used up. And it's a trade. The transfuse gets depleted, but so does the force field energy. Bly!
The Ling's starting to make things wild here as they break into that natural. They're splitting the attention here of the Protoss. He loses 2 sentries to a bile on the front line.
Oh, the Ravages! The transfuse on the Ravages is huge. The Oracles are getting blasted. Those Ravages very vulnerable though. And remember, there's such a lot of Protoss units. This is still so frightening for Bly. Bly does not have a lair. He does not have an Overlord or an Overseer for high ground vision, so he's got to pull back a little bit.
Drogo's got this, man. His Immortals are just packing too much heat. They're just erasing these Queens. And these Ravages don't have a flood of Lings anymore to protect them. They broke off into the natural to try and do damage to Drogo, but the Warpins deflected it.
1,000 minerals in the bank here for Bly. I think he might, he's starting a lair, he's starting drones. He needs to at least kill the 3rd base, right? His Lings might go for the natural. Drogo's going too far.
He has to kill the 3rd.
Drogo, what are we doing? We're way out of position. Way out of position with his army right now. Oh, Drogo, he's going to lose a few guys. Recourse to the natural. The Lings.
The third.
Oh, no. The 3rd. The main base is getting flanked right now. He does trap some Ravages at the front, which is a nice pickup. He cleans up the main with the Adepts, but the 3rd base will fall.
He gets the 3rd. Now, as Drogo, do you retake the 3rd and slow things down, or you take your army and go for it? He's starting a robotics bay here as Drogo. I mean, I guess he's just going to try and go for disruptors, and there's the Prism. I think Chrono Boost the Prism and go across the map.
I think it's definitely a way of winning the game, but you know there's already Roaches and Ravages and a good gas count. So actually winning with the Biles, kind of raining on you, you don't have Twilight, remember. There's no charge. He's got some force fields, but not that much energy. I like what you're saying. I like the idea of counter pushing, but I think he's got to do a bit of both. I think Drogo has to threaten. He's got to move out there and make Bly build units, but he's got to probe at the same time and go to the next step. And that's bloody hard to do right now. You know, he's sending Adepts around the left. He's sending a hallucination going, shit, man, how many drones do you have? I have no idea what this situation is. He comes in and sees a rather decently saturated 3rd. Of course, the main base is half gone. It's still pretty even economy. There's a Forge, there's a Nexus, there's no probes. I think Drogo might just commit everything to this attack.
Yeah, he's going to try for it.
Oh, that's too many Ravages.
A lot of Lings. Yeah, this looks very tough to attack into. He's going to get this hatchery at least, but Bly just has a lot of units, force fields raining down above, but the corrosive piles aren't being used to break the force field.
Ling's
so
in the natural, though. Ling's in the natural and the main doing big damage. Drogo being forced to evacuate on the front. He's almost out of force fields as well. His army is in danger right now of getting routed.
And he's getting some piles. The Ravages are closing the distance. And actually intercepting the retreat path here of the Protoss.
My God.
Down those Immortals. Bly, how does he turn this lemon into lemonade? Somehow, some way, he's managed to do it again.
This man could grind rocks and make peanut butter out of it. I don't know what the fuck, how he salvages these shitty situations he's in. How does he do it?
He pulled a rock apart with his bare hands and found $1 million inside of it somehow. I don't know how he did it, but there it is.
He truly is the Houdini of StarCraft in 2020. Bly is just insane. He turns that series upside down. GG.
That is the GG of a not happy player. So,
of course. I would be so pissed off.
I would be devastated, yes. I would also be devastated.
Well played by Bly. Oh, hats off to him. It's incredible that he makes these comebacks happen. And I think, honestly, if anyone ever finds themselves in a mindset of like, oh, if I lose 2 drones, I just can't win. I'm too far behind. Watch some friggin' Bly games. This guy is inspirational. He's so good at making comebacks from rough spots. Does it once again there against Drogo.
Yeah. It ain't until the fat lady sings, man. It ain't over till it's over. And Bly is the king of fighting from behind. He truly is. Well, he is going to find himself up against Special, who I think is definitely favored going into the grand final. But this is a pretty wild player in Bly. Is Bly going... Does Bly have a chance against Special is what I'm asking you. Co-caster, what do you think?
Yes. I do think it's obviously... I think there's this thing where Special can potentially waffle stomp Bly if all the pieces come together. You know, he can just squish him through the grate of the shower because he was out of TP, you know? But there's a few ways it can go. Sorry, we were on EU, aren't we? I'm like, why is everyone abandoning... I'm like, why is everyone leaving the American server? I'm like, no, we're already on EU.
We're on EU, yep.
Whoops. Yeah, I think if everything goes right, obviously, yes. But I've seen Bly look so outskilled by Special in years past. They used to play a lot more matches, and you go, oh, you got no chance, and then win like 3 games in a row and beat Special. I think the Bly we see nowadays has better mechanics, better understanding, and I mean, I'd like to see Special, you know, just show how to dismantle him and show some really clinical TVZ, but I don't see it being that easy for him.